was very impressed by the group of young people. Some were in sales, some were in digital, some in design, but it appears to me that they're coming up with the right skill sets that the workforce needs today.
I think even more than just trying to get a job or an internship or a position, it's also an opportunity to network and meet people.
Well, I think it's been a great experience. I think it's been a great opportunity to meet a lot of strong young professional candidates.
But just meeting the students, answering questions, and most importantly, getting exposure about some of the positions that we have opening up at our company.
I think it was exciting for most people. I think it's always interesting to kind of get that, feel like they're learning a lot more about the organizations that they're going to potentially apply to.
Yeah, there actually were shark socks. That was pretty cool.
The atmosphere has been incredibly energetic. It's been nice just meeting with the students.
Yeah, I think it's been high energy. I think the venue is great.
So I think it ran really smoothly. Getting the chance to give a 5-minute speech from every company here first was really nice, and then getting the chance to go back and actually talk to the ones that we want to talk to is really beneficial.
The best part for me was having the opportunity to go back and talk to the companies that I felt strongest about, where I thought I could fit in and really adapt to their culture.
I studied for my undergraduate degree marketing. I graduated in 2009, and then I received my master's degree in interactive marketing communications, and I graduated in 2014. Aside from the more kind of strategic academic knowledge, Akron really helped me to build soft skills, so things like solid presentation skills and networking skills and relationship building. And my classmates and I were lucky to be able to interface with local business leaders, and these were companies of all size, small, medium, and large. And there's something really impactful that teaches you accountability and a professional maturity when you aren't just doing something for a grade or a test score, but you're doing it for a real life client that could potentially use your ideas and a strategy. Content is king, and it sounds very cliche, and it's something that marketers have been saying for a very long time, but storytelling is more relevant now than it's ever been, especially in this market where millennials rule the world. Millennials are looking for authentic, responsible stories that aren't just words, but that impart feeling and emotion and goodwill about a brand. Recruiters are really looking for kind of full service marketers. So they're looking for people that can play on both sides of the fence. They're looking for people that understand data and strategy, but then if you also can have a creative eye and maybe have basic, Photoshop or Adobe skills, I think that's something that would be really valuable in today's market. I would say be open-minded about your professional opportunities and the work that you do. If someone had told me, 10 years ago when I was an undergraduate student that I would find happiness marketing blenders, I would have told you that you were crazy. But it's work that I really enjoy. So I would encourage people to not be afraid to say yes to opportunities and really try on different, marketing careers at different companies, and don't be shied away by just a job description. Really give it a shot.
I've seen and experienced in the few years that I've been out of college, and as well as basing on my own experiences at the University of Akron, I think some of the skills that are so important to students for them to learn and practice in college revolve around their ability to problem solve and understand challenges, ask questions, gain experience. It's not necessarily tied to one specific concept or one specific class. It's more around their ability to understand problems, ask questions, form a solution of their own, validate that with others, ask more questions, the ability to know what to do when you don't know what to do. And I think that's so important for anyone, regardless of what major you're studying, what industry you're in, to be able to identify where you have questions, where you need to learn more, and to know what to do in those situations is going to be valuable throughout the rest of your life. So I think that goes back to a lot of the experiences that I talked about having in my marketing classes, is being able to work on projects, being able to work with organizations and businesses outside of class, and being able to work as a team to identify problems, be faced with a challenge, and know how to solve that without necessarily knowing the specific way you were going to solve that. So what were the steps that need to be taken so that I can solve this particular challenge? I think that's going to be extremely valuable for any student, and it's something that should be incorporated into any class. I'm Jordan Pana. I am an alumni of the University of Akron Marketing Department. I currently am a project manager at Rosetta, and I am a proud Zip.
Winners of this award are pioneers who have revolutionized the digital and direct marketing industry, promoted new advances, innovative strategies in the field. Their contributions guide future direct marketers and inspire the ideas that's going to continue to move this industry forward. This year, I'm honored to say Stacy Hawes, president of Epsilon's Data Practices, definitely embodies all of those characteristics to have received the 2018 Taylor Institute Direct Marketer of the Year Award.
We help marketers understand who their customers are, understand their preferences, their likes, their dislikes, and then we actually help activate those and connect those.
I'm really excited to introduce her. She leads a team of digital analysts and specializes in analytics implementation across all parts of Progressive. Caitlin Marvin from Progressive.
So a lot of times we would see something was wrong, but we couldn't actually figure out what was going on with the customer. And I said, guys, if we just redo our implementation, we can actually answer all of these questions. And I got the cool title of Digital Analytics Architect.
The running joke was the smart people went first, and now it's the personalities. I can vouch for the personalities. Paul Elliott, he is the president of consumer brands at Brand Muscle. Dom Litton, CMO of Budget Dumpster. And Mark Donatelli, who is the managing partner at the Winterberry Group.
You know, when I'm mapping my run or any of these things, it's all about knowingly giving intelligence to the apps and tools that I use to make it a richer experience.
My name is Abby Vasori. I am a senior here at the University of Akron. I am double majoring in marketing management and sales management, and I'm expected to graduate in May of 2020. I did my internship this past summer at Ralph.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today to share some insights about social media marketing. My name is Dr. Alexa Fox. I'm an assistant professor of marketing here at the University of Akron, and I'm really excited to be kicking off our Spring 2020 What's New in Social event. Today we have several social media marketing classes who are going to be talking about various trends within social media marketing, and so we're really excited to be able to bring you some insights and hopefully that you can learn and take away some great findings from our talks today. So stay tuned over the next couple of hours, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Please comment with the hashtag #UAkronMarketing, and feel free to kind of keep those comments coming. We're really excited to be able to share with you today. All right, thanks so much, and we'll check in with our first team in just a couple minutes.
Instagram and how they are choosing to hide their like counts. And I'm Hallie Lunt, a senior majoring in communications and minoring in marketing at the University of Akron. And I'm going to be covering how Twitter is giving the option to hide direct replies to users' tweets.
Instagram, why are you hiding my like count? Like counts have been around since, well, the beginning of social media. And brand influencers and brands have been shaped by these like counts. But what Instagram is really trying to do is reduce the social pressure associated with social media platforms. As a marketer, we ask ourselves, how will this impact social media marketing? First, I think it is important to address the impact that likes disappearing will have on our users. The example I would like to share with you today is a recent post of my own. I recently got engaged, and my fiance and I took to Instagram to announce our engagement. When announcing our engagement, we're both kind of competitive, so it was kind of a back and forth to see who got the most likes. While this was all fun and games, likes pose a really important role in businesses. Businesses use influencers as marketing tools to generate content that is engaging, and they use likes to measure the success in their posts. Brands find influencers by comparing the number of followers, the number of likes they receive on their posts, and the number of engagements they receive as well. With the elimination of likes, businesses will have to find another avenue of measuring success. I believe that this will be the number of people who engage on the posts and are in the comment section.
Super interesting point, especially considering that Twitter just started to allow users to hide their direct replies to their tweets. After launching this as a test market in Canada over the summer of 2019, users were given the option to hide replies. Now, this doesn't necessarily delete the reply, but it does stop it from showing the reply directly underneath their tweet, and shows it on a new tab. After launching this, Twitter decided to survey the people that were in the test market, and they found out not only was this liked, but they discovered that over 25% of people whose replies were hidden were going to think twice before tweeting in the future. The company did this to give users more control over their posts and the conversations that are user-generated. Trolling is a huge problem on Twitter, which is basically online harassment. The ability to hide replies allows users to avoid any vicious, irrelevant, or inappropriate comments on their tweets. It's easy to see why in marketing that brands would really like this, because it gives them the ability to hide negative comments, but they should be wary. Hiding negative comments, especially customer service or product related, can easily end up defacing a brand. In situations like that, it is important for the brand to reach out directly to the person who tweeted the reply. They either should reply directly underneath that tweet, or they can reach out through direct message. Now, brands can hide tweets that are either demeaning to others or against their code of ethics, but they should be careful not to abuse its power.
As social media platforms begin to change, it is inevitable that we as marketers change too. Social media marketing is going to evolve into more of an earned media platform rather than a paid platform. This will be beneficial from a consumer standpoint, but could be a daunting task in the eyes of marketers. With this shift, we as marketers should look at creating content that is worthy of going viral, though the return on likes is going to be anonymous to the consumer. This means people won't just like posts based on the number of likes, but based on generally liking the posts. This could lead to a, quote, natural selection among social media influencers and cause the field to become more competitive and less appealing. This may cause good social media influencers to raise their prices and make brands think twice whether to use someone else's content or just create their own.
Currently, the cost of hiring an influencer is relatively minimal. You can pay local influencers with free products, and even more popular influencers tend to cost less than traditional marketing in media. It can be an ideal format to run a marketing campaign on. One way that influencers get paid is through a direct individual link to the site that they're advertising for, or a discount code. This helps the brand measure the traffic that the influencer is bringing to their site, as well as the influencer usually can grab a commission from this code. It helps the influencer or the ambassador maintain enthusiasm about the loyalty, or about the brand, and build loyalty between the brand and the ambassador. In my opinion, the benefits of social media marketing outweigh the risks that are usually associated with other types of marketing in media. The results are easy to measure, and the platform makes it easy to modify if they notice that a campaign is going unsuccessfully. Social media marketing is a relatively inexpensive platform to campaign on that really lets you target your market audience. The ability to change demographics based off of the platform and the message that you're advertising allows for multiple campaigns to run at the exact same time. Social media and influencers are a low-risk aspect that gives an appealing option to marketers and businesses to create more of their own content and campaign rather than traditional media.
Overall, I feel that the changes occurring in social media platforms will change how marketers set up campaigns. With this being said, social media marketing isn't going away anytime soon, and adapting to these changes will be the key to success in social media campaigns as well as businesses in general, as I believe that social media marketing is the future of marketing. I hope today's live blog has shed some light into the world of social media. I'm Rachel.
I'm Hallie.
Thanks for listening.
And we are both seniors here at the University of Akron, and we are majoring in integrated marketing communications. So today, our trend that we will be sharing with you is influencers disclosing their posts as ads on social media. We've noticed a rise in popularity on Instagram with this trend, so that is what our discussion will be focused around today. So now more than ever, influencers are disclosing their ads as their posts as ads on Instagram using various hashtags and other functions on the app, but this isn't coming just from the influencer though. There's a key player who is controlling what can and cannot be said in terms of sponsored content online.
Okay, so like Morgan said, influencers are using hashtags to disclose these promotions and advertisements, and some hashtags that you might be familiar with are hashtag ad, hashtag paid sponsorship. And like she said, there's somebody controlling this, and this is actually the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. They're mandating this. And anybody who, if they get caught, who is neglecting this regulation, it actually comes back, not to the influencer, but more the brand. So the brand gets more backlash from that if they are caught not disclosing any type of promotion or any type of compensation that the influencers are getting for promoting these products. So one thing that you may have noticed, like a new feature on Instagram, is where you can add a location to a post. It's right below the username. It says paid sponsorship with, and then it says the brand that is paying this influencer to promote their product. So we think that that's kind of like a response that Instagram had to this new regulation. It kind of gives a more professional look to disclosing that it's an advertisement. So this requirement has several implications for influencers, marketers, and us as consumers. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, beginning with the perspective of the marketers.
Awesome. So I think some positive implications for marketers include positive brand image from consumers. So if they're seeing marketing content from someone that they follow and they admire, like an influencer, and they know that they're seeing ads from this influencer, they could potentially become a customer of this brand if they truly value that opinion of the influencer. Additionally, I think that marketers will gain respect from both consumers and their competitors if they're being transparent and honest with their marketing, and they're not trying to be deceitful and throwing in ads where they shouldn't be. So, Sarah, do you see any potential downfalls for marketers with this trend?
Yeah, so talking about the downfalls as far as marketers go, I think that up until this point, kind of influencers have been a very casual, organic type of promotion, and now since we have that word ad or the paid sponsorship, it might be viewed more as an advertisement and a little bit more pushy almost to the consumer, whereas before it was very, like I said, casual, organic. I'm sure we've all seen the influencers just on their stories, just filming them cooking or with their kids, something very natural, and then they just nonchalantly, mention a product that they're using that's beneficial. And it was very it just didn't come across as pushy to us, but now they're going to have to disclose that as an ad. So as a marketer, that could potentially be a downfall for them. So moving on to like the influencer side of it, not so much the marketer, but the influencer, I think that the followers of the influencer are going to have a lot of questions now for them, because I know myself as a follower of several influencers, I'm starting to question, are they really genuine in their opinion of these products, or are they just doing this to get the money and to get paid? Are they going to lose any of like their authenticity that we, see with them, or the value that we place in them? So not to say that all of these influencers are lying or they're not honest, but that's just something that us as followers will have that might affect the influencers. So Morgan, still talking about influencers, what kind of positives do you see for this requirement with them?
Yeah, so I see that influencers with this trend with the FTC, I think that they will be able to build trust and credibility with their followers. So I think, for example, if they're reviewing a product on their account, I think they kind of fall somewhere in between celebrities who endorse products, and we kind of know that they're endorsing a product and they're being paid to do a review on it, versus somebody who might be just giving a product review on a company website. They have nothing to gain from it, not being paid for it. I think influencers that we follow sometimes fall somewhere in the middle of that. So I think that if they disclose their ads, or they disclose their posts as ads, this is letting followers know that they're being transparent. They're letting them know that, hey, I'm getting some sort of kickback from this. I might be getting paid for this. This is what I think of the product. That way they're not thinking that it's an organic review or something that they truly believe in or something like that, without getting some sort of payment behind it. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for influencers. And then moving on to the consumer side of things, I think what it mainly boils down to is we want to know if we're being marketed to or not. I think that we don't want to play a guessing game every time we log onto our Instagram or other social medias. I think we want to be in control of who we're following, what kind of content we're seeing, and we want to know if a specific post is geared towards us in an advertising or marketing kind of way. And I think the FTC guidelines really allows us to have a more positive experience online with influencers.
So sticking with the FTC, we were kind of thinking as far as the consumers, what they're doing for the consumers, and if there's any type of negative that comes with us as consumers with this new requirement. And at this point, I don't see anything negative for the consumers, because really the ultimate goal of the FTC is to protect us from this deception online and with purchasing a product. So at this point, no, I don't really see any negatives. But keeping with the FTC, continuing with that, one thing that we're questioning is moving forward, how are they going to regulate this? How are they going to mandate it? Because there's so many influencers and accounts that use influencer marketing. So is it going to be a level playing field? Is it going to be fair for all brands, whether they're huge or very small accounts that use influencers? So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Right, I agree. So to kind of wrap things up, I'll leave you with some final thoughts on ad transparency. Social media should be treated the same as any other marketing platform. So for example, if you're watching TV and a commercial comes on, you know you're being advertised to. If you're listening to the radio and the radio host cuts in and promotes a brand or a product, you know that's an advertisement. So I think the same should hold true for social media. I think that we as consumers have a right to know whether or not the posts we're seeing are advertisements or sponsored content.
All right, so we want to thank you today for joining us, and we hope that we gave you a little bit more insight on this new FTC requirement.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about private social groups. My name is Brandon Cugini, and I am a junior here at the University of Akron with 3+ years of marketing experience.
I'm Brendan Ford. I'm also a junior here at the University of Akron, and I'm studying IMC.
Okay, and so like I said, today we're going to be talking about private social groups. So Brendan, you know, as we know, Facebook is really the leader of these private social groups as they implemented it within the last year or so. Mm-hmm. I know you did a little bit of research on privacy concerns that Facebook has been a part of. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously we all know Facebook hasn't been well known for their privacy policies. Mm-hmm. The biggest scandal being the Cambridge Analytica data breach that recently happened. Mm-hmm. Also going along with this, like certain acts like the California Consumer Protection Act was also put in place, which also gave consumers the right to access their data, delete what they don't want to be put out there, and then also give third parties access or take access away from third parties. Mm-hmm. So this to me just stands out as like a major issue for like marketing researchers. Mm-hmm. Now going along with this, Mark Zuckerberg has stated that he wants to change Facebook from more of a town square feel to like a virtual living room, and like also like up encryption and everything regarding like privacy that you could think of. So from this actually came Facebook groups. So with those being like smaller communities on Facebook, it's definitely going to get that feel. But I also feel like that's going to be what replaces the third-party data that is being lost due to certain like consumer acts.
Okay. It's really interesting too that Mark Zuckerberg really talks about these private social groups as town squares. I mean, you have thousands of people talking about one topic. It can almost get, very overwhelming for people.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, do you think Facebook will be involved in any more of these privacy scandals, or do you think they'll really be on top of it going from here on out?
I definitely think they'll be on top of it with all the acts and everything that they're trying to change with their public image. I think that they are definitely trying their hardest to keep Facebook a private area. If anything would happen, it would be just somebody messing around on their computer. But I mean, there's not much that they can do about that.
Right. Okay. Well, so yeah, even though there are still some issues with probably some privacy concerns going on in the future, especially with private social groups, as we're still trying to figure these out. I think there are some potential benefits for these private social groups, such as the cultivation of brand loyalty and also a source of good positive word of mouth for marketers. Now, we know positive word of mouth is a really good thing for marketers, as it's free publicity for those marketers, and it really helps present their product, the product or the company in a good way, in a more authentic way to the consumer. So in we see a lot of customers are actually craving more authenticity within marketing, in the marketing efforts through companies. And we could see some other benefits, such as the cultivation of brand loyalty. Now, there are two different types of people within these private social groups that we can see. These are those who are interested and those who are experts within the topic of the private social group itself. So, these experts will be essential for marketers, as they will be the biggest advocates for the brand and will help pull those who are interested, thinking about going with a particular brand, or really want to know more product information from somebody else that's not in any way a part of that company. So I think these experts are going to be very crucial in that conversation.
Definitely. So one question I have for you is, do you see like these private social groups being more of an asset towards larger businesses, or more so towards like smaller like startups?
Well, I could make the argument for both, but in this case, I would be an advocate for smaller companies, as the bigger companies have a larger marketing budget, more so than what the smaller companies would have. So I would definitely encourage smaller companies to really take a hold of these private social groups and use them to their advantage, as it will help them further grow their company through these experts, as I said, that they will be the biggest advocates for their brand.
And I know that we've talked about Facebook groups a lot so far. Within your research, have you seen any other standout platforms?
So one platform I have seen is LinkedIn. LinkedIn does have a lot of social groups, but really LinkedIn is more of a thought leadership platform. It's not a place where marketers go to advertise their specific product, or it may be for their company, if they say were to do something to benefit the community. They would put that on LinkedIn. They would more than likely in these social groups on LinkedIn share ideas about a particular industry, and not just, like I said, talk about a specific product itself. Now, Facebook, you can have this thought leadership as well. And but also talk about specific products, categories, really anything. And I think in the future, more social platforms are going to be implementing these social groups in the future. So,
kind of stemming off of that, do you see any like potential for LinkedIn outside of like thought sharing, or like I know there's a lot of like B2B stuff that happens on LinkedIn rather than like the B2C that would be more geared towards like Facebook?
I would say you'd see more B2C on Facebook, Instagram, those kind of platforms, Snapchat, and I don't see that. I would see more B2B just on LinkedIn itself. It's more where networks go, or where professionals go to network, so I would say more B2C on Facebook and all the other social media platforms used generally by consumers, and LinkedIn's more for professionals. So I really think marketers should take a hold of this really cool new private social group thing that's happening now, and I think it'll be very beneficial in the future. Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope you learned something, and have a good day.
Influencers, also known as Pinfluencers, and I myself covered verified Instagram accounts. So basically we're just going to be chatting about how those two types of accounts are interacting with today's media trends, and as the atmosphere develops over the next couple months, how we're going to see some trends change in those. So basically everyone knows Instagram. It's that platform where you can post pictures, you can comment, you can like, you can share, you can put stuff on your story, you can even put other people's posts on your stories. So it's pretty popular, wide known, whereas I'd say Pinterest, on the other hand, Caitlin, you definitely opened my eyes to Pinterest a little bit. I know a lot of people really think it's just for like arts and crafts, stuff like that, but you actually really showed us how that platform is evolving. So I know you had some stuff you wanted to share as well.
So what exactly is Pinterest, and how do marketers and consumers use this platform? Just going to start with the basics, and since 2012 they've grown their followers from 12 million to now 150 million active users, and it allows users to share content such as photos and videos and add it to their boards. And there's also a tab known as Pins, which is people on Pinterest create content and add it to the web. And this is one of the fastest growing networks in social media, and it has content ranging from interior design to makeup, clothing, food and recipes, and everything else in between. And as influencers, also known as Pinfluencers, their job is to do two things. They post photos with brands and with links going to the company's website. And then the other is creating content and posting those photos with the company's brands and their products. And that's kind of how influencer marketing works. And there's also like, if you're looking on Pinterest and then you see the three dots, you can click on it, and this is where you can go and sometimes virtually try on things such as lipstick or clothes, and virtually try those things on, and then go directly and buy those products, which is a really interesting and cool idea. So both of these social media platforms, Instagram and Pinterest, they rely on influencers very heavily, but not all verified accounts are influencers, and not all influencers have verified accounts. And so what are the differences and what are the similarities between these two accounts?
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. So in my research, I really was trying to find out, like, how do you get verified? Like, shouldn't I be verified? I'm who I know I'm Luke Massey. Shouldn't I get that little check mark? So after doing some digging on Instagram, they actually, described how you get verified. and that you have to be a well-known, highly searched person, brand, or entity. So, even though you and I are, we know who we say we are, there's probably not a chance we're getting that verified sticker anytime soon. So really, what I noticed with your project, actually, there was a Pinfluencer named Joy Cho, and so she's one of the most influential people on the Pinterest platform. She does lots of stuff with interior design, home crafts, things like that, and yet she doesn't have that verified stamp, but she's super influential. So I think it's important for those of you tuning in to realize that just because you are verified doesn't necessarily mean you're an influencer account, and then just because you are an influencer account doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get verified. So, brands like Nike, Adidas, things like that, they're obviously going to have that verified sticker, even though their purpose might not be to influence. Their purpose might just be to maintain their brand image. Whereas on the other hand, there's influencers out there that have a big following, or they have a big pull on the platform, but they don't have that verified stamp because they don't have that status that Instagram's looking for. So I think it's really cool to keep track of that and keep eyes on that in the months to come as to how marketers are going to pick, do I want a verified account under my brand, or do I want maybe an influencer who might not have that status but like a little bit more pull or more genuine connection with their following on the platform. So I think, picking out those trends and seeing how they're going to play back and forth is going to be really interesting for us to watch. I know you had some really cool points basically on how, we're going to have to pick, or brands are going to have to pick what influencers they want, on their brand, or how they're going to pick the right ones.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go a little further into that.
So although Pinfluencers have a huge benefit to brands, with engaging consumers and increasing traffic and sales, there's going to also be some issues with this too. First, selecting an influencer is not an easy task. If they don't have a verified account, can you trust that they're going to represent your brand, in the right way, that they're credible and they're authentic with their content? And unfortunately there's a thing such as fake influencers that use bots and fake followers to gain that popularity. So that can be an issue that we see here in the future. And a second issue that could become prevalent as well is an overabundance of influencers. There could be 50 influencers for a similar product, and this just begs the question to consumers, which influencer do I trust more? Who's the biggest influencer? And so as marketers, I think it's really important to be careful to not overwhelm these consumers with this type of influencer marketing in the future here.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. Her bringing up that just because there's a bunch of influencers out there doesn't necessarily mean that they're all, real, genuine people that are active on their accounts. Really opened my eyes up. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see, how Instagram is going to take those steps to make sure that their influencers, are genuine people that are having, real strong connections with their following, or if they're going to play the safe bet and go with just the verified accounts. I also think it's going to be really interesting to see how influencers that start off as influencers, may eventually reach verified status just because of them being influencers. So the question to come, I'd say over the next couple months is going to be, who can we trust? Who are we going to be looking at? Are influencers going to have more of an impact, or are verified accounts going to have a bigger impact? So I think it's going to be really cool to see how maybe the platforms might change. I think I'm really apprehensive to see, I'm really worried if maybe influencers are going to oversaturate the market. That's what I hope doesn't happen, because I could see that, just kind of ruining Instagram or some platforms that we know and love, because, users are going to be on there and saying, okay, instead of connecting with people, I'm just getting ads blasted at me all the time. So,
it's not true, authentic content. It's
exactly.
just for the money.
Yeah, I like that you brought that to light, that, people love being an influencer so much that they're willing to buy, fake followers and likes, to get that influencer status or make themselves come off as an influencer. So those are really going to be what we're looking at here to come, is, how the verified status might change, how much influencers are going to pull for brands, and, really how marketers are going to discern between which people they want added to their brand. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up as far as, what marketers are going to be looking for here in the days to come?
No, that's all I have here. If there's nothing else from you, then
yeah, cool.
Thank you for listening in, and you can follow us on LinkedIn or other social medias if you have any other discussion questions or any other comments that you'd like to leave. And thanks again for listening in, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you guys so much. Drop a comment down below using the hashtag. Again, follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. We can keep this discussion going throughout the day. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello everyone, my name is Steven Schweitzer. I'm currently a senior here at the University of Akron studying supply chain and marketing.
My name is Vishal Kathartikar. I am also a senior here at the University of Akron studying marketing.
And for What's New in Social, we'll be talking about Instagram scrolling effects. So what are Instagram scrolling effects? Imagine this, you're opening up your Instagram account app and you open up for a video selfie. But before you start videoing yourself, you notice 3D augmented text floating above your head saying, "What Disney character are you?" As you begin to video yourself, the text quickly translates into an array of random pictures of Disney characters moving in a slot machine-like fashion. And about 5 seconds into the video, that app will randomly assign you a Disney character. What I just described to you was one of many examples of Instagram scrolling effects. In fact, the one I specifically described was one of the most popular that rose in popularity, at the end of December of 2019. This actually reached, according to Google Trends, a max popularity score of 100. Other similar Instagram effects that followed are "What Pokemon are you?" or in 2020, "I will be." Now, you may be asking yourself, how did something so simple but ingenious become so popular in such a short amount of time? Well, doing some research, Vishal and I found that it really starts at human psychology, and more specifically, it starts with self-identity and tribalism. Humans love to self-identify themselves and to group themselves with other people of similar characteristics. That's what tribalism is. And we see evidence of this in brand selection, whether somebody chooses Nike versus Adidas or Coca-Cola or over Pepsi. And even more specifically, we love to self-identify ourselves with tests such as personality tests, Myers-Briggs 16 personality tests, anagram tests, or even those silly BuzzFeed videos that will tell you whether you're a Ravenclaw or a Hufflepuff. And so this is one of the reasons that we found such a popularity in these, because Instagram scrolling effects, although random, you could be Captain Hook for one of the video selfies or Olaf for another one. Although the results are random, we find that it really hits the nerve of us being able to self-identify ourselves and create this sense of tribalism. But what's the potential for this Instagram scrolling effects beyond just the end user of Instagram for brands or for social media influencers? This is where I'll hand it off to my close friend and colleague Vishal.
Yeah, so thanks, Steven. As you mentioned before, the "Which Disney character effect are you?" definitely rose in popularity at the beginning of December. And the beneficiaries of this rise in popularity are the individuals who create the effects. Arno Partissimo, who created the "Which Disney character are you?" started at just over 1,000 Instagram followers, and then after he created the effect in just under a month, rose to over 700,000 followers on Instagram and is now a verified account. Brands in the past have used mainstream celebrities, such as athletes like LeBron James, to reach their end users. With the rise of social media stars like Logan Paul, they started to use them as well because they felt like they were closer to the end user. But now we believe that creators like Arno Partissimo are going to create a third category of influencer, and we're going to call them user influencers. The question then becomes, will brands use these user influencers to reach their target market? And we believe the answer is yes, because we believe that user influencers are closer to our end user than social media stars such as Logan Paul and athletes like LeBron James. We believe that because they are closer, there's a bigger aspect of genuinity. Users are going to trust people who are closer to them, and so because of that, we feel that they should use and will use these user influencers. It'll also be interesting to see how they use these from a seasonality perspective, looking at things like the Super Bowl, New Year. Netflix actually did this in the month of February, where they created the effect, "Which Netflix Valentine?" or "Who is your Netflix Valentine?" using characters from their popular shows. And it definitely was very popular, and it hit home and was very much relevant in the user's head. Finally, as Steven mentioned, looking at things like augmented reality, that is what this entire thing is based off of. And AR technology is only going to increase as time goes on. Looking at things like just the effect itself from scrolling over your head, you can then change that to, if you get Olaf from Frozen, you can then get an Olaf face overlaid over your face to make it more engaging with the user. The question now becomes, will brands want to pursue this AR technology, and will they want to invest in the AR technology, or are they going to outsource it to these user influencers? And now we already discussed the benefit of using these user influencers, but there are definitely benefits to using or to developing this AR technology themselves. They could then have it long term. Although in the short term it may be more expensive, in the long term it will be cheaper because they won't have to pay per post. things like that. So we do want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below on whether or not you believe that brands should invest in AR technology for things like this, and if whether or not they should consider using user influencers.
Yeah, those are great points, Vishal. And so I know within the few minutes that we spent talking about the Instagram scrolling effects, we've thrown a lot of information at you. So just to summarize, we first opened up with what are Instagram scrolling effects, talking about what they look like visually. And then we talked about how they became so popular within a month because they play on this primitive human need to self-identify ourselves and desire to self-identify ourselves within groups or what we call tribes. Followed by that, Vishal really dove into talking about how this can be used either by user influencers, a new category of influencers, and also brands. And the interesting chemistry that we would love to see down the road is there any potential in a partnership between the brands and the user influencers? And then also beyond just Instagram scrolling effects, the AR technology. What's the potential for that? Should brands start investing in their marketing departments, R&D, or should they simply partner up with these user influencers to really promote their brand? We'd love to hear about your opinions and thoughts below. But until next time, thank you for having us.
Hello, my name is Sam Waller. I'm a senior here at the University of Akron, and I'm also an integrated marketing and communication student.
My name is Athena Mersta. I am a senior marketing major at the University of Akron as well. Today we are going to be talking about how to use personalized marketing on social media.
And you may ask, what is personal marketing? It's when businesses use your data that you post online and kind of like they configure it to you, so it's more of a personal level. Kind of, it kind of goes with the name, but like a company like Amazon, they have all their different products that they have online, and you may be on Amazon clicking around, and let's say you find a Yeti tumbler or something. So you click on the Yeti, and then like 3 days later, you're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, and you see the Yeti, and you're like, how does that happen? So Amazon uses different algorithms to target you on different apps, which is kind of crazy because they're not even really affiliated with Instagram or Twitter, but they have your data on their apps. So that's kind of wild. Another thing, they just curate to you. You have your different products that you want to search online, and then they have just the ability to market to you on different apps is just pretty cool.
I think it's really helpful. I think personally as a consumer, I think that it's a pretty helpful thing because I know that there are times when I've gone to Amazon to purchase something, but I decided not to purchase it right away. And then you forget about it once you leave the page, and so you see it a couple days later, and it reminds you to purchase the item, or at least reconsider purchasing the item.
Right, it subconsciously gets you thinking about that purchasing decision again. So you could see it a couple weeks later, a couple days, and then you're like, oh yeah, I was looking at that. I was going to purchase that. So yeah, it's kind of cool how they can, you know, have those kind of strategies to like affect your purchasing decisions. Not even like on a conscious level. You just see it one day and you're like, oh yeah, I was going to buy that a couple weeks ago. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you think it's something that's like successful enough that other companies will take it up or
I think
start
so.
using it?
Yeah, I think so because, you know, the world is becoming more and more technological. I think having the opportunity to, you know, promote your product on social media, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or even on Facebook, you know, people are going to see those products that they're searching, and it could be a local company, it could be, you know, something like, I don't know, just a big business, you know, and whether the product, you know, it doesn't matter on the product, they're getting their name out there, and you're able to see their products on different platforms.
I think repetition is key too in marketing. So I think seeing it over and over again and being reminded of your different purchases or things that you thought about purchasing but didn't follow through with is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it works. I know it works on me at least.
Yeah, I agree. I've definitely bought some things off of that I looked on Amazon and then just, you know, I forgot about it and then I saw it on Instagram a couple weeks later. You know, I actually ended up buying that Yeti because of it.
One of the other ways you can use social media, it's for personalized marketing. It's a very different way, but it still uses the whole data concept, is Cadbury chocolates, which I know them for Cadbury eggs, but I guess they make all kinds of chocolate. But they did a campaign that was personalized marketing campaign where they put out a video that used your Facebook data and essentially integrated your photos and your friends and your messages and stuff into the video. So it was very personalized to you. And so when you bought a bag or a box of chocolates and received the chocolates, the video came with it so you could watch.
That's pretty cool. Was it like via QR code?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you could
yeah.
do it that way, or you could go on the website, I think, and watch it.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they so that's like that's the opposite side of the spectrum of personal marketing when, you know, Amazon is more of like retargeting your products, and then Cadbury is you know, giving you like a really personal video from the data that they've collected. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how Amazon kind of uses it to get you to purchase it. And Cadbury kind of does the same thing, but it's in a different way because they're using it as almost like the allure of your personal video.
Right, like you have, like once you buy this, then you get, you know, the little personal message. So that's
it's kind of like what's it going to look like rather than just the way Amazon does it, where it's kind of about repetition more.
Right. Now, one question I do have for you is, how do you think people have do you think people will have any issues with privacy issues, or with people getting into their personal data? Will people have some issues with that, or do you think people are more oh, they're actually this is a helpful tool?
I think it's all about being transparent. Like with the Cadbury one, you had to give them permission to use your Facebook data. They didn't just take it. So, and I think it's all about being transparent.
For sure.
Making sure that they know exactly what data they're using.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, as long as you're transparent, there shouldn't be any issues with that, but you never know.
All right. Thank you guys for sitting here and listening to us talk and joining us today on our live stream.
Yep, if you want to follow us on LinkedIn, we have our names underneath. You can look us up and be happy to connect and talk more about this subject if willing. So,
yeah.
Yep, you guys have a good day.
Hey Facebook Live, my name's James Max Van Fleet, and I'm a marketing major at the University of Akron in my senior year.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. My name's Ali, and I'm a marketing and accounting major here at the University of Akron as well.
For those of you that don't know, we're going to be talking about social media's influence on Hollywood and vice versa.
You know, it's interesting. Social media influencers have been starring more and more in Hollywood films lately. It seems as though they're becoming more intertwined with Hollywood.
So what I've noticed is that some movies are even getting their own social media pages.
Well, in the past, Hollywood has traditionally used mainstream media to promote their up-and-coming movies. They've used print ads, TV ads, billboards, and even previews before movies in the theaters.
So I've always enjoyed watching trailers and movie previews. Now they're just starting to be more accessible on social media rather than traditional forms of media such as television. And I think this is a trend that we're going to see a lot in the future.
Yeah, and let's talk about actors and influencers a little bit.
So traditionally, actors have been the face of Hollywood. But as social media becomes an emerging trend, they're starting to be put in the back seat.
It's almost as though these social media influencers have earned the attention of everyone. And the more they get involved in something, the more they become the face of the show.
So I agree. It almost seems like actors are starting to be phased out by influencers. And YouTube has over 1 billion users. Instagram has over 400 million active users. And they're just starting to grab the attention of the public more and more. Audience attention is starting to shift from actors to influencers, and the idea of what a celebrity even is starting to change.
In fact, with the growing popularity of these influencers, they've had more of a role in these films than traditional actors have.
And this is really something new we've been seeing. I've actually noticed that some social media influencers are starting to appear in films alongside known actors. And one example of this is Boo! A Madea Halloween. That featured several social media influencers alongside actors.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them were YouTubers, Instagrammers. They actually came from a variety of different social media platforms. What's even more interesting, though, is that they weren't used only as stars. They were also used as a form of promotion for the movie. Being that they all boasted such a large following, it was actually a large attribution to the success of the movie. And 79% of people in the United States had a social media profile of some sort in 2019.
Just thinking about it, it's hard to think of someone I know personally that doesn't have a social media profile of some kind.
Yeah, and take, for example, Liza Koshy, a well-known YouTuber who's amounted over 2 billion video views.
And YouTube is just such a big channel for content, and just about anyone can go out there, create their own channel, and start posting their content online.
That's right, and another prime example from the film was Yusuf Erkat, a YouTuber who has amounted over 10 million subscribers and 1.7 billion video views, as well as Brock O'Hearn, a well-known Instagrammer who's known for fitness and being a male model. He's amounted over 1.7 million Instagram followers.
And when influencers promote something, you might not always realize, as the audience, that they're promoting it. And this makes them a really effective tool for marketers in every industry.
That's right. And Boo! A Madea Halloween was a huge success, like I said. The film used many social media influencers to promote, but they also starred in the movie. The outcome was incredible. The film grossed over $70 million in profit, and it was #1 in the box office for 2 consecutive weeks. It also earned a really high rating from audience reviews.
So how does that compare to other movies that are out there?
Well, all the Madea films were directed by famous director Tyler Perry, and this was actually his 4th highest grossing film ever.
Wow, I really think that this is going to be the next big thing, using influencers to both star in and promote movies. And, actors just can't compete.
That's right. It's obvious that these social media influencers are becoming the stars. Liza Koshy, Yusuf Erkat, and Brock O'Hearn were just 3 of the biggest known names on the influencer list. This list also included names like Diamond White, Lexi Paterna, and Jimmy Tatro. There was even more that came from a multitude of different social media platforms.
So what got my attention there is that all of these influencers and personalities vary greatly in how they're known, and they all come from different backgrounds.
That's right. This film single-handedly ranged from influencers known for twerking videos all the way to man buns and fitness.
Wow. And social media is just a great way for marketers to create a conversation about their product as well. And Hollywood's just begun using social media to create a buzz.
You know, a movie created a large amount of buzz on social media, Avengers Endgame.
That's true. The trailer was posted to several different forms of social media and gained 109 million views on YouTube as of April 2019.
That's right, and the conversation on social media also added to the buzz around the movie. If you had a social media profile when this movie came out, you knew it was coming out.
And what was the result of that? 50 million plus followers on Instagram, and the trailer Actually, the movie generated $1.2 billion in revenue.
Right, and it's not just the Avengers film, Max.
Yeah, that's right. Sony's created Twitter pages for several of their films, and that creates a buzz and a general dialogue about them, which allows for more awareness of their films.
You know, I actually noticed District 9, a film that recently came out, had a Twitter page of its own, and that was really interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And District 9 as a film was able to create a successful social media campaign by utilizing different social media platforms as well as Twitter.
Right, and not to mention, promotion on social media can be free or very low cost at times.
And, you know, creating a buzz isn't just for Hollywood. It's important for all marketers.
Absolutely. As marketers, we want to be the ones creating the buzz.
But as far as Hollywood goes, there's a shift of influencers becoming the face of Hollywood rather than traditional actors, and they're starring in and promoting films as well.
You know, Hollywood has traditionally used widely known personalities as micro-influencers, but they're still important. You also want to make sure that we mention the small businesses. Small businesses can use these micro-influencers as well. So where a small business may want to target a more specific audience, they can use a micro-influencer who's known in that audience.
And that's true. And you know, the rise of influencers just shows us how powerful social media is as a marketing tool, and that we really need to use it to its fullest extent as marketers.
Absolutely. Incorporating influencers into any marketing plan can be a really good tactic. It worked very well for Hollywood, and it's worked for a lot of different businesses. It's played out a role in multiple different small companies' integrated marketing plans and even larger companies. But that leaves us asking, is this the future of marketing?
Let us know what you think.
Thanks for tuning into our Facebook Live event, guys.
Be sure to check out our blogs on the topics.
Hello everyone, my name is Jalen Saxon and I'm a senior at the University of Akron studying marketing.
And my name is Caleb Morgan and I'm a senior at the University of Akron with a minor in marketing.
And today we're going to be talking about what makes humorous content and more specifically, memes in marketing and how they've evolved over the years, and what we can expect to see moving forward as far as humorous content goes. So first, I'm going to open up by asking exactly what makes content in social media appealing, and how are memes being used in their content?
Definitely, that's a good question. And there's a ton of opportunity when brands can use social media, and memes are definitely one of the forefronts of that. People go to social media a lot to laugh, and memes are a lot of the reason that people go to social media at all. So I think that that's a huge thing. It's very adaptable, and people can definitely use memes to their advantage as a company because they can kind of make it their own and give them a voice that people will like.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to humorous content, I think it's important that users understand what is being posted. I think with humorous content, if something is not understood, it could be taken negatively, and I think especially with branded marketing, it could negatively affect the brand if it's uninterpreted.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think you have any examples of what that would be?
Yeah, so we have an example here of a meme that was used in marketing. This was posted by Ruffles, and it's short, sweet, it's to the point, and I think people can relate to this sort of example, and I think it would resonate with users better just because of how simple it is and easy it is for the brand to use.
Yeah, definitely. I have an example that's a little more poorly received. It's from the U.S. Department of Health and Services. It's a really high risk for them to use a meme because they are a government agency. It's tough for them because it's going to be a website that is like very under high scrutiny all the time. So for them to use a meme, very risky for them. People don't necessarily want them to be funny. They want them to be very serious.
Absolutely, and I think it's important for marketers to consider the level of involvement that their consumers have when making purchases. High involvement purchases, like with health insurance, may receive poor feedback if you're going to advertise that using humor. Whereas with Ruffles and snack food, it's a low involvement purchase, so it's going to be more effective if you were to use more humorous content.
Yeah, definitely. That's why you'll see a place like Ruffles use it a lot more. Jalen, what do you think is like an example of a time you've seen a brand go above and beyond outside of social media using this type of content?
That's a really good question, and I think it's a trend that's starting to grow over the years. And for example, I think using humorous content like memes in a traditional sense, like on billboards, is something that's starting to become more and more popular. Spotify is using billboards as a medium to display their content, to kind of branch out of the online world. And I think it's effective because I don't think people expect to see memes on a billboard.
Definitely.
And therefore, I think it'll help resonate their messaging a little bit better.
Branching out from social media to
Yeah.
use it in the real world. Definitely, I saw that during the Super Bowl as well. There's I believe, I forget the company that used it, but companies using like TikTok celebrities to like market their and endorse their product, and definitely using social media outside of it to kind of recognize that it's what it's for. Yeah.
Absolutely, and just to give another example, Ashley Home Furniture had a meme posted on a billboard that depicted 4 different images that displayed the types of furniture that they offer. One for Instagram, one for Facebook, one for LinkedIn, and one for Tinder. So they kind of took that meme template format and they transferred it over to something that's relatable to their brand and helps really connect their users with their brand, and I think it's effective in that sort of sense.
Definitely, because it gives them an opportunity to make a joke that maybe a company will, or a consumer will actually remember.
Or relate to, yeah. Absolutely.
And so because of that, how do you think that companies will use this strategy to moving forward?
I think moving forward, we're going to see more memed content, like I said, especially with that low involvement kind of purchase, just because it's relatable and recognizable to a lot of users. However, I think we're going to see a lot more personalized and more highly targeted content, specifically because I think brands want to stand out from other brands. So I think moving forward, we're going to see more of that kind of content.
Definitely. I think a lot of companies that I've seen on their Twitter presence, they are very willing to make jokes, and I think that's also a form of memes, just making a joke at someone, and it's definitely giving a brand like a voice, and it's helping them use an ad in a way to help them kind of have a memory in people's head that this company's funny, I like that, I'm going to remember that next time I see them in public, and maybe I'll use that in the future.
And that's a goal for brands, to become top of the mind in a lot of their consumers.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, but I think that's all we have today.
Yeah, I hope you guys continue the conversation with us and commenting below. We really enjoyed talking about this topic with you guys.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jessica Morales. I'm a marketing and sales major here at the University of Akron.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Sabag. I'm an IMC major at senior level in the University of Akron as well. We will be talking today about how micro-influencers are affecting marketers as acting as a tool, specifically on Instagram and YouTube. We're going to be starting off by talking about how social media today is more than just like some platform that connects people together. It's becoming it's becoming like a tool for businesses for many people that use social media actively on a daily basis, allowing businesses to reach a higher amount of people, driving them into becoming customers using different methods. Those businesses are benefiting from people with more than average amounts of followers on social media, such as Instagram and YouTube influencers, to reach their intended niche audience on a global reach. And then talking more about those influencers, it's Jessica.
So I'm going to go in and say that influencers, they are growing at a high rate daily. You see on Instagram and both YouTube, thousands of influencers, thousands of micro-influencers, mega, macro. There are various types, I believe 4. There's mega, macro, micro, and nano. On YouTube, and Instagram, we're gonna talk about mostly the micro-influencers and how marketers are using them today for basically to grow their brands and brand awareness, further brand awareness, basically.
With all that being said, there are some questions that are in order to be asked, such as like, who do you think those micro-influencers are?
I would say the micro-influencers are the ones that have between 1,000 and 100,000 follower account. They do specialize in different topics, so marketers who would like maybe a sports influencer or one in clothing, it is easier to basically pick that influencer in your marketing strategy, which influencer you're going to choose for your brand. The opinion of those influencers, the micro-influencers, is the primary opinion. They do have the most trustworthy following today. So Mohammed, I would like to ask you, so why do micro-influencers on Instagram have an effective role more than other marketing strategies?
Well, firstly, talking about Instagram itself, it's a platform where people like me, you, influencers, celebrities, anybody could be posting posts, stories, live streams, or even like there's something called Instagram TV. Everybody like tends to be showing some categories about their daily activities. Micro-influencers specifically tend to show categorical content by using live stream videos, stories, and posts, and all of them sharing a link with the brand they are representing. You'd be saying, well, celebrities as well, they like review stuff and they like be talking about everything on those platforms as well, specifically like on Instagram. They be posting like Kylie Jenner. Well, most people are well aware that celebrities are not using the product they are recommending, especially if it's like a not known brand. Which is why like micro-influencers are being more trusted than celebrities and those huge influencers. Celebrities are just like getting paid a lot to be talking about those products. They don't even care if like customers actually go into the links provided and they how do we call it, like call into action, or they don't even like care if the product itself is good or no. And that's why like someone who has like much followers to lose, such as micro-influencers, they promote something they don't believe in, they risk losing their followers' trust quickly.
So how would you say micro-influencers directly affect the customer?
Micro-influencers, as I said, like they have a specific factor, which is trust. And then with that being said, like they have acknowledged for helping brands with revenue because of like the followers, they trust them and they like rely on their decisions and then the choice of brands, and they know that the micro-influencers won't trick them by those brands they promote on their pages. And then and they are known with high engagement rate by using links and swipe up features that Instagram provides, which makes it easy for influencers to reach and succeed in engaging with their audience and with the brand.
Okay, so would you say that micro-influencers on Instagram, are they the most effective marketing tool for right now?
I would say yes, and that's because the trust between followers on Instagram and micro-influencer is massive. With that being said, it proves like how micro-influencers could have a high conversion rate. With their more humble backgrounds and individual interactions, they are better able to connect with their audience on a personal level and understand their pain points. Allowing these influencers to increase the chance of a viewer to switch brands. Like a huge advantage of these micro-influencers is that the business does not have to spend a fortune to work with them and still gets more engagement traffic and new customers.
Okay.
Well, talking about the future of those micro-influencers, how would you say that would be?
As a marketer interacting with these influencers, they're very highly active, the followers. So it's easy to get comments and reviews on your product live. So whenever an influencer is is presenting your product, like the reviews, they come quickly. So it's definitely easier than it has ever been before for marketers to influence their products online.
Well, as for the like how marketers are using the micro-influencers on Instagram, they're just like using them as a third party for like a customer would feel like he's talking to a friend by like me talking to you about a certain product, but the difference is we're talking on Instagram, and that's where like it's not a formal business customer type of relationship, and that's how I feel like it's beneficial for marketers to be talking about those influencers. As for you, Jessica, how about YouTube? I would say like Instagram did a good job, but how do you feel about YouTube though?
I would say that YouTube is doing a great job as well. Mostly on YouTube, you do see a lot of mega influencers and celebrity endorsed products within advertisements. I would say my favorite YouTube influencers right now are mega influencers, and we can't really help that we are influenced by what we see, and if we watch clothing hauls on YouTube all day, the power of influence, it's always going to affect like how we shop and what we look for in products when we're at Target or wherever we are. But I would say that micro-influencers are deemed more trustworthy because most of the time they're not getting paid. A lot of marketers use the strategy of gifting. They'll gift a product to a micro-influencer, and then they will then do a review, as long as you send an agreement to the influencer that they'll do a review within a certain time frame on your product. and then they'll get reviews on that. As a marketer, that's how you can strategize into using an influencer for your products. Other than that, I would say that mega influencers are the top influencer on YouTube right now, but the micro influencers are really what we look at for when we want to buy our product.
Well, how would you say like marketers use those influencers to advertise on YouTube?
Well, it's definitely a business-to-business exchange, just like how I said, if you're a small business and you want to grow your product, you can gift a sample or the product itself to an influencer, and they'll eventually be able to, market it for you on their platform. So I would say that's the main way how you can do that. I would say that you definitely want to choose the right influencers. Some of them do have, not a good following, or they're known for not giving a trustworthy opinion. So you definitely want to choose the right influencer in your strategy when marketing your product with the micro influencers.
That's fair. Do you have any other questions you'd like to ask?
No, that's all. If you guys have any other questions for us, we do both have a LinkedIn, and both of our names are below. Leave any comments or questions. We'll definitely check them later, and thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Josie Cremines, and I am a junior integrated marketing communications major at the University of Akron.
Hi, I'm Brooke Wingren. I'm a senior here at Akron. I'm studying marketing management, integrated marketing communications. So today I'm going to get us started off with my topic, which is the Instagram checkout feature. And this was added to the shopping feature on Instagram back in March 2019. This allows you to purchase items, from brands on Instagram without actually leaving the app. So it's very convenient because you do everything on one place. You don't have to be redirected to multiple websites to go through that whole process of putting your information. And the best part is it securely saves your information after the first time you make a purchase. So it's very helpful. And it actually has helped brands a lot increase their conversion rates because there's less people dropping off at checkout because they have to go through multiple pages, the product page, the checkout page. So it's helped a lot. And where you find this feature, you can scroll on the popular page. I do that a lot. I wouldn't have found most of the boutiques I shop at if I wasn't scrolling through the popular feature and seeing those product tags. And you can also go to any brand page, and if they do have items available for sale, there's an icon bar, and the little shopping bag is right there, and you can see all of their products that they have available for purchase.
And one of the better things is they do integrate all sales platforms on Instagram for brands. So I know a lot of smaller brands that actually use Shopify when they're getting started off, and that is simply integrated in there. So all of your stuff is in one place. You have shipping notifications there. It's just great. It does help small to medium-sized companies. I do like to support smaller companies. And it really helps them stick out among larger brands because they can use the shopping tags properly and put their products out there so they're on the popular page with all of those larger brands. There can be a few downsides to the feature that will eventually, I think, get better as they work on this. There is a lack of customer data that I've seen in my research. Instagram basically gives the minimum amount of information for a brand to fulfill that purchase for the customer. There really isn't any, information or about the customer or, what they like to do, how they got to your page, all of that. But there is other things on Instagram backend, like your analytics that marketers can use, and they can still do ads on Instagram and everything. So there definitely is other ways to get this than just the checkout feature. But another thing that may hurt small to medium-sized businesses is the selling fee. So Instagram does put that on the sellers, not the customers, to pay part of that. So if you are a smaller business, this can add up, but larger brands, it most likely does not affect them. What's next for this feature? When it first started out, the top 20 brands actually were the ones to roll out with this. It worked really well, so then they opened it up to a bunch of other brands, and now anyone can actually get this feature. They just have to meet the criteria and get it going. So I think this will become even more smooth for customers to purchase. I mean, I love scrolling on the app and just seeing all the products from influencers and everything. So yeah, so Josie's gonna talk about the donation feature a little bit.
So last April, Instagram announced some new ways that you can kind of upgrade your charitable donations and your fundraising efforts. So they implemented a new button into the profiles. So the button is placed right next to your phone number. And then there's also the donation sticker. So that is you can implement that into your stories. You must be a nonprofit 501c3 in the United States. And you also have to be approved and also enroll through charitable giving, through donations with Facebook. So there's a lot of good in this new feature, in the two new features. You definitely can find it a lot easier to donate to different organizations, and it's definitely a lot more accessible for users. Previously, you had to go to the link in the bio to donate, and now you can just go to either the donation button or through the sticker that they post. So it's definitely a lot less cluttered and makes your profile look a lot cleaner. Also, through stories, you can customize all of your stories however you want to. On TikTok, I actually saw how to make your Instagram stories look nicer and neater and more aesthetically pleasing. So that's really cool, what I thought. And you can customize the button to look how you want it to and say what you want, your logo and all that stuff. So it's really cool. You can add your own pizzazz to it and kind of go from there. But there's a couple downfalls of this. You do have to change your profile to a business profile. It isn't too big of a deal, but the users may not see your content as much. So that is one thing with their new layout and how it's not in chronological order anymore. Also, people skip through stories fast sometimes or just ignore them altogether. I know sometimes I won't even look if there's a bunch of different stories up, especially if you're following a lot of people. There's just a lot to see. So that is one thing, like, you may not see the story altogether. Also, the donation sticker as stories only last 24 hours. So that is one thing they won't stay up too much. But looking ahead, I think organizations can take full advantage of this opportunity. It can really only help an organization. There's really no downfall. I mean, the donations on your profile, you can go click to donate. I mean, you can only get more donations from there or none. But there's really only positives to this. And I think Instagram can really take off running with this new feature too.
Yeah, these two features, especially since they've added icons on the brand page, it's just really helped marketers, especially when customers go to the page, they can automatically see, hey, this person donates, you can donate to them, or hey, this person is selling something, let me check it out. But you mentioned before we were talking about that Instagram should add for the donation feature, like if you have, they can kind of go together, the checkout and the donation, because what if you're like selling t-shirts or something for a specific brand to donate to a cause?
Right.
So both of those together, you can purchase something and have it go to a certain cause, and there's a donation button right there. So hey, that's a double feature. You can do it both right there.
I thought a cool feature would be, since we're talking about the shopping feature also, for the donations to be kind of implemented in the same way. So St. Jude's does a thing, their t-shirts are "This shirt saves lives." They could do a campaign where it's like, "This post saves lives," and if you click on the post, it can be like a donate button. So that'd be really cool if Instagram could kind of implement that into their new features.
Yeah, for sure. I think this helps brands show, what they're about, if they're about donating or what kind of products they like to sell. And these features can only get better from here. Like, they started off good, but it's just going to keep evolving over time, and it'll be exciting to see what happens in 2020.
I'm very excited to see what Instagram has in store for us.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for viewing our live show today.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paige. I attend the University of Akron. I'm a senior majoring in strategic and organizational communications with a minor in consumer marketing.
Hi, everybody. My name is Prerna. I'm a senior here at the University of Akron, double majoring in integrated marketing and communications and marketing management.
So today we are going to discuss the two marketing trends, Boomerang, the app, and TikTok. So first I want to ask you, what is TikTok?
So Paige, TikTok is this super cool app that everybody is having on their phone, and I almost see everybody taking these cute little videos of them and uploading on TikTok, and I don't know how to even use it. So before moving forward, do you have TikTok on your phone?
I don't.
Good. Now you can be my partner because even I don't have it on my phone yet. So TikTok is this cool little app that lets you lip sync to videos of different celebrities, and you can also create your unique talent videos online, and it reaches millions of people internationally and domestically. TikTok also has this unique feature where it allows you to do creative hacks and editing in your smartphone. So you don't need to be a big editing person, but you can just use the little tricks on TikTok and edit videos. So even if I don't know to sing like Beyonce, I can at least lip sync like her and become famous, you know. That's going to happen in the future because my voice clearly isn't that good. But enough about TikTok. I want to know more about Boomerang because boomerangs are so cute and I use them all the time. So tell me a little bit more about boomerangs.
Well, Boomerang is an app that was created by Instagram, and basically what it is it's a type of media that allows you to take bursts of pictures and it kind of loops them back together. So it's not necessarily a video, but it's not a picture either. It's like a media that's somewhere in between.
Definitely. I love boomerangs because rather than just posting your photo like a cliche thing, you go a step further and post this cute little thing that, you know, people can even make it trending in the future. I think some of my boomerangs have been trending for a while. I just don't know which ones they are. But Paige, tell us how marketers can actually take this into account and make their brands more famous.
Well, I think for any social media brand or any brand using social media, it would be a good idea if they could use boomerangs as kind of like a tease. So like if there's an unreleased product or a new product that hasn't been launched in store or even online, a company can kind of take footage with a boomerang and tease their audience, their customers, and post it either on the story or just as an original post so it can kind of create some curiosity and anticipation for the product launch for their audience. So.
You were spot on with that because rather than just posting a photo of a Nike shoe, Nike can go a little further and post a boomerang about unveiling the new shoe or surprise factor of the new shoe. And even people like me who don't wear shoes or run can actually be interested in them. So I love the factor about boomerangs. So coming to TikTok, TikTok also has a lot of benefits when it comes to marketing. So TikTok is now all into influencer marketing because it can make common people like me and Paige become influencers. So brands can quickly connect with influencers and ask them to endorse their products, which can be reached to millions of people both domestically and internationally because the popular videos are the ones that keep going on the timeline again and again on the app. The other thing with with TikTok is that brands like Chipotle have already started noticing the benefit of TikTok. They've been actively listening to students who are posting stuff about Chipotle online and making cute, funny videos of Chipotle on their app. So Chipotle actually went ahead and created their own TikTok account, and they started the hashtag Guac Day challenge, where they asked students or just anybody using TikTok to make a cute little dance move and post in accordance with the National Avocado Day. I wish I did that because I could have gotten a free burrito. Who doesn't want a free burrito from Chipotle? I'm going to go down and download that app and quickly get and do my own, guac challenge. So now I want to know, do you think TikTok and boomerangs are similar?
I think they're kind of similar, but I think they're both original. There's some similarities, like they're both video type media. Well, Boomerang really isn't a video, but it's kind of that in between. It's not just a still shot photo. But differences include the length of time that you can shoot footage. So like for TikTok, I believe you have 60 seconds to shoot. And boomerangs are like 4 to 5 seconds. So the timing is different. And the concept is a little different too because Boomerang doesn't allow for any music or any audio, while TikTok you can dance or sing over other songs. So those are some of the differences.
So I agree with the differences, but I still feel like TikTok got inspired from all these other big social media apps like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and then it became this one huge app that's trending on everybody's phone, which I still don't have. So TikTok is also similar to Instagram in a couple of ways. Like they still have the same amount of characters that you can use for captions, like both allow only 100 characters that can be posted, and they also are now only starting to allow people to use links on their TikTok apps, which can lead to other third-party apps. And I think they got inspired or copied rather this idea from Instagram, because Instagram is all into influencer marketing.
Yes, they are.
So do you think people understood a little bit about TikTok and Boomerang after we spoke for a while about it?
Well, I hope so.
So I hope you guys got something useful from what we spoke, because we thought that we initially did not like TikTok, but we're gonna go and definitely download it in our phone and maybe start using it, maybe become influencers in the future. You can follow us in TikTok if we download our apps. Usually we'll be using our same, the names that are below. So now we want you to quickly pause your screen and take a picture of what we're going to show you. It is really important for you.
Very important.
It's very, very important. Okay, Paige, let's show them. Let's unveil the surprise. So this is nothing but our LinkedIn names. So if you guys want us to offer a job, we're more than happy to take it. So why don't you connect with us on LinkedIn and give us some amazing jobs, which we can also use. So get in touch with us soon.
Yes, connect with us.
Thank you so much for watching
Thanks
us
for watching.
on live.
Hey guys, welcome to the next event of the live stream. My name is Joe Williams.
My name is Paul Collins.
And we're going to be talking today about AI and how it can improve marketing in the digital world. So AI is essentially a robot type of thing that can do jobs that a regular human would be able to do. The industry has been growing very quickly and largely over the past couple years. A lot of people have been using them to manage their social media posts, do market analysis, data research, and just about anything that would take a regular person weeks or months or hours to do, that these new systems can do in days or hours by themselves.
So Joe, what do you think the biggest benefits are that are associated with AI and the development of it?
So AI allows you to do things that you would regularly have to pay someone to do. So instead of having one person and all those man hours looking at large data sets, you can just have your AI system comb through them and pull out the data you want and do the research you want and allow those people to work on other things and free up more time.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about chatbots, honestly, because it ties in well with your topic in terms of it is kind of an AI system.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's nice because it actually broke through into the social media marketing landscape. So currently, around 40% of all consumers have interacted with a chatbot when just talking to retailers. So that's a huge number of people. But the nice thing about it is, like you mentioned, there's 24-hour, 7 days a week service.
Yeah, you don't have to have someone online responding to customer requests or questions. You can have an automated system that will provide the feedback necessary to get your customers the help that they essentially need.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's nice because it saves the company money, but on top of that, it doesn't really detract from the customer experience because they do get a response quickly. Most of the chatbots respond within an hour of receiving a message, which is actually a better response time than most human-run customer services. So it's nice for the customer as well as the company saving some money in terms of man hours. But on top of that, I think the development of chatbots and AI through the years are going to bring up new use cases for the technology in the marketing space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these new AI systems have grown so much that companies you almost have to have them because of the customer base that you can have with an online presence. There's just millions and millions of people that have questions, replies, comments, concerns, and you can't have just one person or even a small team of people try to take care of all these things.
Definitely. I mean, when chatbots were first introduced to social media marketing campaigns, it was mostly to try and divert some of the calls that would be coming into customer service centers so that they could cut down on the amount of calls that were coming in for simply answered questions, things that were on their FAQ page, on their website, certain things like that. So it would provide a quick answer for simple questions that were being asked typically to people on the phone. It saved them the time and let them invest resources into other places. But recently we've seen chatbots being used to advertise, similar products to the one you're purchasing on their webpage. So you can actually have a chatbot that would reach out to you and explain the fact that you purchased something, but there's a related product that you might actually really enjoy. And a lot of people have actually gained from this in the customer experience because you will get related products that you actually need in order to use the one you just purchased. So instead of making a purchase and then waiting 3 days, getting it and realizing it doesn't work without another component, that's kind of solved for you by the intervening AI.
Yeah, I mean, I think Amazon does probably the best job of it, almost to an annoying point where when you buy something and it gets delivered, they will just keep emailing you and giving you notifications to similar items related to that purchase that you made. It's a good system, but it works too well almost.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, AI is used heavily in terms of retargeting campaigns too. So after you purchase an item, reaching back out to that consumer is
I think Amazon's they have, when you buy something, they'll send you another email about a week later asking you to leave feedback and review the customer product, and they're just annoying almost.
Yeah, I mean, I just recently bought a pair of wireless earbuds, and it's kind of crazy. After I purchased them, every single banner ad on any website I would go to would be from that company.
Yeah.
So I think that inclusion of AI kind of company-wide and internet-wide is really huge. But then, going back to just chatbots, there are more and more uses for it being, dreamt of every single day. And with, the increase of technology and processor speed and everything we're trying to do to increase, textability in our lives, in the next few years, it's unimaginable the amount of uses that chatbots could have. There might not be need for customer service bays anymore. You might not have to have that call center for people to call in and ask questions.
Right, which I think people kind of view as a downside to the AI and chatbot system, but I look at it as more of a positive because then those people that you have on that customer service side, you can move to other departments and places and grow larger rather than just being on the phone and dealing with complaints and stuff like that all the time.
Definitely. And as it goes for chatbots, I mean, I know a lot of people have issues with them because, a large part of social media marketing for the longest time was the fact that it's a very personal interaction between person and person, and it's very clear that you're talking to another person. But the issue is now with the invention and more widespread use of chatbots for that purpose, people are starting to feel like companies are now avoiding that type of interaction, which was previously seen as the biggest benefit, is that you could get a direct interaction with someone who actually works in the company, someone who actually cares. But you don't get that same feeling from a chatbot, because as good as they've gotten so far, people are just really good at detecting whether they're talking to a human or a robot. So it's kind of a hard thing to work around.
Right, and I mean, that goes back to earlier when I said that there's so many people online on social media. I think Facebook hit, 2 billion monthly users, active users? You can't manage all those people and try to deal with everyone on a daily basis from just an actual human being. You just can't do it. You need some help from these AI systems and chatbots to help manage your consumers, essentially.
Definitely. And I think, a lot of people are always worried about these tech inventions kind of falling by the wayside in terms of usability, but that's kind of the nice part about chatbots and AI is they're constantly developing. They're actually learning software. So as time increases that they're being used, they'll actually get better at their job, which means instead of becoming obsolete, they'll tend to grow with whatever is needed in that company, especially with tech teams developing new software as well. There's always going to be a next step in terms of where it can go. So I think it's really important for businesses, small and large, to kind of work towards investing in some sort of AI development or chatbot program that would help them limit their costs in terms of man hours and help kind of wrap everything up into a nice little bun instead of having to have people do that for them.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's been using them, and they're just going to keep continuing to grow and grow until the whole customer service world is probably going to just be run by AI and chatbots. And it'll be interesting to see in the years to come what happens with actual humans in customer service world.
Definitely. Well, I think we nailed it, if I'm being honest. So I've been Paul Collins.
I'm Joe Williams.
Thank you for tuning into the live stream. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to come listen to us talk.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Cole. I'm a senior here at the University of Akron. Today I'm going to be talking about personal branding for business leaders.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch. I'm a senior at the University of Akron also, and I'm going to be talking about CEOs using their personal brands alongside of their professional brands. So today I'm going to start with obviously the focus of using a personal platform to help promote their actual business in a certain way. You reach more people than obviously just using a different or their personal brand along with, in tandem, their actual brand. So that's one way that they do it. Another way is it adds a personal touch to their professional brand, giving it that personal aspect, making it a little more casual for
Gotcha,
the casual person. And then also, most people take their core ideology from their personal self and put it into their business. So obviously you get to see that on a different level at the personal aspect.
Yeah, so mine kind of relates to that. It's like, it reinforces that like personal side of the brand. You're talking to a person at that point. It's not the brand that you're talking to. That's like their logo, their thing.
Definitely.
So it's the face of the brand that personalizes it. I get that. But wouldn't you say? Well, let me first say like the face. Or sorry. The person has like, you know, their own expertise. They started this company.
Totally.
Like they have their own expertise. So having their own like platform to share their expertise, their knowledge on, really extends that beyond the brand. So it kind of like helps consumers realize, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. They probably have a decent product.
100%. I totally agree. So second, I'm going to talk about how CEOs go about sharing information on social media, and I'm going to focus on Twitter as the main way. So there's two main ways, obviously reposting and sharing the same content from their business. So I'm going to use Amazon as an example. Amazon can tweet something, and then the owner or CEO, Jeff Bezos, can either take that information and retweet it or repost it on his own personal platform. And then there's also posting like their own original content. And for this, I'm going to talk about SpaceX and Elon Musk. He had posted tweets about a job interview that was coming up for this thing that they were putting on for SpaceX. And he tweeted it off of his own personal platform instead of just using the SpaceX, because on his own personal platform, he has so many more followers.
Yeah.
So it just made sense for him to reach that audience instead of just tweeting it off of the SpaceX.
Gotcha. Would you say it becomes like a little redundant, them doing that, if the brand is posting something and then the owner of that brand is also reinforcing that same idea?
Obviously, you can worry about that, but you also want to get the content out there for as many people to see. So in the example with Elon and SpaceX, he has a vast amount more followers than SpaceX does, so it just makes sense for him to put it out there along in tandem with SpaceX tweeting it, definitely.
Yeah, so like my worry there is like, you know, you hear the same information, you kind of get a little annoyed. I've personally had that where you like follow a company, you also follow a person, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to see the same stuff twice, so you end up unfollowing something. So in my perspective, I think if the owner can take like an idea or their own like interests and stuff that really started that brand and make that, you know, like provide content in that instance, it becomes a little bit more exciting for the followers to see this is what the brand is doing and this is what the owner cares about. And like, so like ways that you would go about doing that, I think the best and easiest way is just on Twitter. Twitter like makes sharing content so easy. So just, you know, reposting and retweeting stuff really like makes it easy for you to just
makes it inconspicuous
like,
too. It fits it right in.
Right. This is what I care about. This is what I'm into. This is what I follow, and this is like what kind of helps like the inspiration for my brand.
Definitely.
And then like beyond that, I think like using LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn for like. There's a great feature to like just share like little blog posts and your own thoughts. So I think using LinkedIn, you kind of get that more professional side, but you can share like things going on in your actual like own life that are like, you know, family things, what you're doing.
100%, yeah.
One of the books I read, there was something about he was like feeling like he was a workaholic. So he shared this on his like LinkedIn profile and was able to connect with other business leaders that had the same problem and able to like kind of like, okay, I'm not so weird. Like,
yeah, that's
you know,
they were able to relate it to each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So one of the other examples that I think like really goes about this well in today's day is Ben Francis of Gymshark. So he kind of started off his whole company using the influencers, and he kind of like got on that wave when it like first kind of started.
Curve, yeah.
Right. So he's done a great job of managing that, but in these past few years, he kind of turned his own company over to someone who's better at the business side because he knows he's good at connecting with people, and he's kind of taken advantage of that and has started using like his YouTube as a way to connect with his audience. He's started a blog post. So that's just a way to connect outside of like his apparel and just say, this is who I am. And I think you can tell the difference between followers that follow him for the company rather than people that just follow it for the apparel.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So do you see that as being like the future of where CEOs and using social media is going?
I think it can be helpful for sure. Just again, you know, you provide different content, you show what you care about. Patagonia gives all their stuff about sustainability and like other things like that. So I think for big companies, it's easy to repost and just kind of like use Twitter to say this is like stuff that's going on. I think this would be far more beneficial to smaller companies that are trying to get established. So you have like small companies that like are trying to make a name for themselves, so they connect their brand with other ideas and other things that people care about and say, like you guys, we care about this.
Yeah. They show that they're more of not just a figurehead, but they're part of the brand. They are the brand.
Right.
They're showing the people that this is what they do.
Yeah. So what would you say the future of?
I'd say it's just showing the day-to-day operations of the business and the core values are a personal level and making sure that people are understanding that these CEOs are making sure that going forward, this is what we represent, and I'm going to do this on a personal level to make sure you guys understand that.
All right.
So yeah, that's the future of social media and CEOs, and we hope that you guys took something out of this today. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, thank you.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on our Facebook live stream. My name is Daniel Strachan. I am a junior marketing major here at the University of Akron.
Hi, my name is Kiana Washington. I am a senior majoring in integrated marketing and communications. So today we are going to be talking about two different topics. We're talking about how the Instagram Pulse feature can benefit your brand.
And I'll be talking about the shoppable stickers on Instagram stories and why their popularity has grown amongst brands. So Kiana, I'm gonna start off by asking you, what are Instagram polls? I know you and I are familiar with, but for everyone else?
So Instagram Pulse is actually a feature that you can do on your Instagram stories. Mm-hmm. So just like when you take a picture or a video, you can actually click at the top, the sticker icon, and you can choose for them to answer a question that you come up with, and the response can be your typical yes or no. You can even go as far as changing it to emojis.
Just out of curiosity, I know they only last for about 24 hours. Is there a way of extending that?
Yeah, definitely. So you can, it goes the normal 24 hours, and you always have the option to add it to the highlights on your Instagram profile, so they can always go back and revisit it, still giving people more time to answer the question.
Okay.
And so you're probably wondering, how can Instagram polls actually benefit your brand? So you can do that. It can benefit your brand a variety of ways. The key one that I found when researching this was that it can actually help you with conducting marketing research, especially if you're starting off as a smaller brand. You might be worried about spending a lot of money on doing focus groups, surveys, when you can actually ask your audience directly. And that definitely helps you with building up your engagement because you're having direct conversations with your consumers. You get to learn a little bit more about them, what products they might be interested in, how they feel about your products, so that you're always able to improve your brand as well.
Okay, and you can actually see like which followers voted for what, correct, on those polls?
Yeah, so you can see exactly which followers voted. You also can share the results with them so that they can see their voice actually showing into their products that everybody went ahead and voted for. Another way that this can benefit your brand is by bringing awareness to your brand itself, as well as new product launches. So say if you're like IKEA and you want to show that you guys are coming out with a new kitchen design, it allows your customers to see when it's going to be released, as well as get their feedback first to see if you should go ahead and continue on with that type of style, maybe if you need to modify anything at all. And the cool thing about it is that if you're displaying your, like say if you're displaying like clothes, you can actually put a link so that all they have to do is swipe up on the story. It takes them directly to your site, so you don't have to worry about them not being able to find the product or not knowing where to go. Yeah. Of course, as long as you meet all of Instagram's requirements.
Gotcha. So I'm going to go with the requirements real quick. I know with the swipe up feature, you need like 10,000 followers, or you need to be verified, which I know that blue check mark seems to hold a lot of value for everyone. But that's where I'm going to bring in shoppable stickers. And see, with shoppable stickers, the requirements are very limited. A lot of times you might fulfill the requirements without even knowing, like being within one of the 46 countries the feature's available in, or like the biggest one is connecting your profile to a Facebook catalog. That's what I'd say the biggest one is. So what exactly are the shoppable stickers? Like you said, the stickers are in the top right corner of your stories whenever you post a picture or a video on it. So you'll be able to go there, see where the polls are and stuff, but actually there's a little shopping bag icon, and this is where the stickers are, and you click that and it shows up as either, like I said, the shopping bag icon, or you can also have it in the product name, and that'll show up in either a rainbow text or a gray text or a semi-transparent text. So you can choose between those. And so what do they actually do? So the shoppable stickers, one of the biggest things is that there's less spam. I know for a lot of brands, when they constantly post their products on their main feed, like a lot of followers are like, oh my gosh, it's kind of getting annoying, it's overwhelming. And so their actual profile begins to look more like a catalog itself. So if they can get rid of those and start moving it towards stories, the nice thing about stories is that they last for about 24 hours and they're gone, and then it's more common for people to start posting multiple things on their stories, and they can easily tap through them or skip the stories if they would like to. The second thing is exposure. There's hundreds of millions of people that are looking at stories every single day. So if brands are able to insert their products into those stories, I know stories also fill up the entire screen, and you don't even have to like tap or scroll or anything like that. I know this happens to me a lot. I end up going to stories and I end up spending 30 minutes on it without even realizing it, just because it goes from one story to the next to the next. So if brands are able to put their products, tag their products in their stories, and have users see them, it can be extremely beneficial for them. I kind of think of it as if you put like a 10-year-old kid in front of a flat screen TV and they're watching cartoons, they get sucked in, and next thing you know, they're there for hours and the outside world is just completely cut off. So that's kind of feel like stories is for me a little bit.
So you don't have to actually swipe up, you just click the story sticker.
Correct. You can click on the story sticker and it'll show you the product details, its price, and hopefully the brand's main goal is have you purchase it. And so that last thing is conversions. So with the shoppable stickers, and if everyone keeps seeing your products on it, they'll be able to click on it. It's so convenient, they don't have to leave Instagram's site. So they can immediately buy that product on the story, and there it is, it's purchased right from there.
Super convenient.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. We'd like to thank you for joining us on our Facebook Live. It'll be interesting to see where Facebook enhances these features, if they go anywhere differently. Maybe, who knows, they'll
Might even add some new features.
Exactly. Maybe with the stickers, they'll have customizable icons or something like along those lines. So it'll be awesome to see what they do. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. We had some really great conversations with all of our students. Really proud to call our students ours here at the University of Akron. So please continue to check us out at UAkron Marketing. That's on Facebook and Twitter, and we'd love to hear your conversations on that hashtag as well. So from all of us here at the marketing department, thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.